Coach Musselman after, told me before the game, his teams have always played their best basketball at the end of the year. For them to kind of go through the struggles they've gone through and them to keep playing hard, I think it's a testament to what they've done. They have not had the year that anybody thought that they were going to have, but they've got a lot of talent and they haven't quit. They're actually playing their best basketball of the year. Sure, we made 2 Elite Eights. The Alabama program has 1 Elite Eight. In our entire history, he's had 2 since he's been at Arkansas, so he knows what he's doing. He had them ready to go. We obviously were not that well ready to go at the beginning of the game. They came out, jumped on us, got up 15, and then I thought we made a good run to close the half. We made some tough plays. We had too many turnovers. We come out in the second half, I thought our energy was a lot better, but our turnovers were just killing us. We had 11 turnovers, I believe, at the first media time out of the second half, and then over the next, what do we got? So there was 4 more, or 3 more in the second half. The next 5, counting overtime, we didn't turn it over. So once we were able to sit down, start guarding, so basically 5 straight 4-minute medias, 4 straight, and then overtime, we didn't turn the ball over. So once we settled down and quit turning the ball over, our guys made some tough plays. Now, things weren't going well. You look at the free throw line, they were 24-27, we were 17-25. They outscored us from there. They shot it better than we shot it tonight. There was a lot of things they did better, but we figured out a way to get a win. We made some tough plays. Shot right till hit late to tie it was huge. Sam Walters in overtime was huge. When Shelley was hurt, his 3 was big, but his offensive putback was huge. He just kept telling us, put me back in, I'm gonna make some tough plays, And that's where our mindset's gotta be. I think, obviously we didn't play well. This is not one of our better games for large parts, and you gotta give Arkansas a lot of credit. But I put up on the board before the game, handle adversity with mental toughness and do it together. I thought we handled a lot of adversity. They got to the bonus quickly in the second half. We had some stupid fouls. We couldn't make a shot. A lot of guys didn't play their best game. We turned it over, kept playing. That first bucket Estrada made, you could just kind of see the relief on his face. I finally got one to go in. Go down the list. Multiple guys, things weren't going well. Grant in foul trouble again, and we just hung in there and fought it out. So I think in the last 2 years we're 5-0 in overtime games. Say that our second year when we lost that overtime game to UCLA in the Sweet 16, I think we learned a little bit about how to get our guys mentally ready to play. Maybe if we didn't play well against UCLA, we felt like we should have won the game in regulation, but we didn't play well in regulation. We felt like tonight we didn't win it, but there's an attitude that you need to have going into it. There's nothing you can do about the last 40. Let's just get refocused on what we need to do right now in the next 5. And I felt like we did a really good job of that. So I thought Mark Sears' leadership throughout the game was as good as he's had all year. These teams are doing a really good job making it difficult on him to score. He just kept hanging in there, making tough plays, made a bunch of tough plays on defense. Thought he made a huge jump in his leadership. We get into the huddles, he's talking, not letting guys quit. Trelly gets on fire. He's like, let's run something for Trelly. Let's get Trelly a shot. I thought Mark Sears' leadership today was as good as I've seen all year, and that's what we're going to need out of him moving forward.
Start with Nick Kelly.
Yeah, Latrell Wrightsville getting a lot more time tonight and playing really well. How much is what he does offensively and defensively something you guys need to really get you back on track to where you were playing your best basketball?
And we need him in a bad way. I feel like if we'd have had him, those games he was out, we definitely would have lost. Some of the ones we did, we'd have a league championship if he had gone down, but that's some of the adversity we got to play through. So we didn't win a league championship. So let's get ourselves back together. Let's compete for a tournament championship. He played almost 40 minutes, and he made some tough plays. You could tell he probably not quite in good enough shape to play 40 minutes, but he had to. We went to overtime. He went out with the trainer. And he's tough. He's a tough kid. Made big plays. You could kind of tell. He's been over, like struggling to breathe. We got him out quick. Got with the trainer. Sam comes in, makes some big plays. We get Charlie back in, and he closes it for us. I mean, he was big. I think I'm wrong here because we definitely had a turnover late. Trying to remember it now. We had a turnover in overtime when we were up 13 seconds, and Charlie turned it over. So I must have misread some of these stats, but I thought we had 11 at the first media timeout. Maybe it was 10 we had instead of 11, or maybe they adjusted something. I don't know, but Charlie played great. And other than that one turnover late, I mean, he didn't make many mistakes, And I told him too, like he's 100% from the free throw line. I don't know who's 100% playing as many minutes as he does in the 31st game of the year from the free throw line, but he is. So just hold on to the ball, let him foul you, or call a timeout if you get stuck. But I thought he was huge, and we need him in a bad way. And him scoring 20, and we needed every one of them points tonight.
Charlie.
You kind of mentioned it when Latrell went out. Just how significant was it to see Sam step up and go 3 for 3?
Man, I was super happy for him. He's a kid that's shot it well early, struggled. Maybe this can get his confidence back going. I mean, that 1-3, it was right in front of us. I'm like talking in his ear before he catches it, like perfect, great. I don't know what I said, but it was something like making sure he shot it. Yeah, I thought he even fumbled it a little. Like, I don't really care if he fumbled it or not. He needs to shoot every open shot. He shot it, went in. Kind of like sometimes I need that lid to come off the rim. I think maybe that did it for him. That putback was huge. He was in traffic. It was a tough plays. I think that made him happier than anything he did all game, which is great. He's trying really hard to make tough plays, and he made some. And then he had the tie up on the defensive rebound, and at the end, he catches it with nobody in front of him. He's trying to be smart. I said, like, anytime we get guaranteed 2 points, like, we're taking it, like, go dunk the ball. So he got himself to 10 points on that last play and had himself a pretty solid game. And some limited time. I thought in 14 minutes he was in. We were +3. That was big.
Chase.
Yesterday you said this was going to be a character game. How did your halftime speech kind of square with that, and then how do you re-square it afterwards after you pull it out in overtime?
Yeah, I was a little upset with some of the plays in the beginning of the first half. At halftime, I didn't think we were playing as hard as we needed to. Some of the turnovers were extremely careless. We screwed up some defensive assignments. But we had a pretty good close to the half, so I tried to use that, at the end of the halftime. Let's get some positive things going. If we don't turn it over, I didn't feel like they would guard us. I felt like they would take a lot of tough, contested shots. Like, guys, like, if we could keep them out of the paint, stop fouling. Fouled there in the second half, but they we shot. I'm looking at it right now. Our analytics, we shot too many non-rim twos. Like 18% of our shots from non-rim twos were on the year. It's closer to 10%, but they shot 30% of their shots were non-rim twos. I knew they would just keep taking like the contested, tough long twos, and over the course of time, we're going to trust our numbers. They shot 35% on those 20 shots. We actually shot it all right on ours. We shot 50% on those 14 shots we took, but just stop turning it over, forced them to take tough shots. They got to the line too much on us. That was kind of the big difference in the game. But I told them, like, we can get some stops and get out in transition and run. And even at the beginning of the second half, we were getting out in transition, but we weren't converting. We had some, just almost guys being too unselfish. Beginning of the second half, I don't know if you remember the one. I thought Sears should have shot. He drops it off. Grant gets the charge on it. Like, we've got numbers, we got to convert. But I thought the guys just hung in there. Told them we're gonna, face a little adversity we already have in the first half. Like, let's continue to play through it, and we'll get this thing turned around. So,
Blake, Mike's on your right.
Yeah, just how important is a game like this to be able to win when you said multiple guys weren't playing well and you've been on a slide and you've got tournament play coming up where it's going to be one and done kind of the rest of the way?
That's huge. I mean, you get confidence, and you don't want to base everything you do based on wins and losses. We need to be mature enough to walk in on Monday we're off tomorrow. When we walk in on Monday, we need to be able to learn from this. There's plenty that we didn't do well, but at the end of the day, you keep score to get a winner and a loser at the end, and we figured out a way to make enough winning plays throughout the end of the game to get the win, and we need to know that we've got winners. We've got guys that are seasoned veterans that know how to win games when you're not playing your best. And like I mentioned before, I mean, we've won a few of these games this year. To get one here lately, when actually we didn't play very well at Florida. I thought the guys had a little quit in them at Florida. We let them know, we're not doing that again. This isn't who we are. We may not play well, but we're going to keep fighting and playing hard through the end. We didn't play well this game. We kept fighting, They need to know that when we don't play well, if you keep fighting, stay the course, do what we're supposed to do, we still got a chance to win. Because the Arkansas team may not have a great record. They're a very talented team. I mean, there's multiple NBA scouts here today, and they're looking at players on both teams. They've got guys that will probably play in the NBA. It's a talented team. And, I thought our guys against a pretty talented group hung in there and made a bunch of tough winning plays. We need some confidence on we can win against some talented players when we didn't play our best basketball.
Katie.
You talked about you can't base things on wins and losses, but you needed to win today to ensure a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament. Just how important was it to secure that, have that extra day of rest and prep going into next week?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to win that tournament over there, it's very hard to win it playing 4 in a row, especially with our depth right now. I mean, hopefully we get Riley back. He's day to day, spending a ton of time with Clark, the trainer. But without him, I mean, you look at what we had to, our starting guards played 42, 40, and 39 minutes. If you're going to try to do that over 3 straight games, it's going to be extremely, or over 4 straight days, it's going to be very difficult. Now, even playing over 3 straight games can be hard, so it'd be helpful if we get Rylan back, or, Sam or Davin to really step up and give us some minutes. But, getting it by to Friday makes it much more likely that you got a chance to win that tournament. So this was big. We needed to win, and our guys knew what was at stake. And I don't know what, I think we're short of 2 or 3 now. Is that accurate? That's what somebody told me. So, means we'll be at opposite bracket from Tennessee, and see who we end up with, on Friday and Saturday, and see if we can't get a rematch with Tennessee for a 3rd time on Sunday. That'd be great.
Tony.
You had that skid in 2022, and do you go back and can you learn something from that? 1, and then 2, what makes you confident that this group is not going to go through something like that?
Yeah, that comes back to mind. I think 22 group, we lost our way a little bit, but this group's different. Like, I didn't ever get the feeling that these guys have quit on each other at all. We may have played bad, we may have quit in the game against Florida, but these guys like each other a lot. They play for each other. I mean, Estrada has only been here a year, but if you knew him, he's one of the best kids you'll ever meet. He's an unbelievably great teammate. Pringle, he's got a lot of emotion to him, and he's a leader that kind of draws everybody together. These guys are fighting for each other. Grant's a great kid. Reitzel, I go down this list, and you look at every kid that's playing, even guys that aren't playing. I feel like this group wants to keep playing together. They love playing with each other, so it's different. I'm not saying that there's some really good kids on the 22 team. I'm not trying to say they're all, but this group's definitely different. But it's human nature to go back in history, look at things that have gone well, not gone well. You learn from them, and we're going to try to stay as positive as we can with these guys while still trying to correct, mistakes that they make. But that group, I don't think, was as positive, and they weren't as together as this group is. So I think when you stay together, I go back to what I said earlier about Sears. When your best player was as good a leader as he was today, and keeping everybody together and talking everybody up, and let's get Trelly a shot. Trelly just made one. He's the leading scorer. Maybe probably wasn't at his average yet at the time when he was saying that. Goes a long ways, So I get a lot of great kids that are really pulling for each other. Our attitudes are good. We haven't lost our way in that regard at all, and I think that goes a long ways.
Kennington.
Nick Pringle has been playing well lately, but it feels like particularly his free throw shooting has improved in the last few games. What type of boost is that if he can stay, above that 60% or greater?
Yeah, I mean, he's worked at it. He's been in the gym. If you notice, he's kind of changed it. He had an issue with kind of getting his thumb in there. Like if you shoot one-handed, you can't really, because you need to hold it right. So he's kind of gone to just shooting it, kind of go back to where, so he just keeps the left hand off, and he's been pretty good. 6 for 10 is not, obviously you'd like to see him 7 or 8 at 10, but for what he's been used to, we needed all 6 of those points tonight. And, I'm fired up every time he gets there. He goes 2 for 2. Shooting outshot Grant. Grant was 90% free throw shooter at the line halfway through the year, so shot a better percentage than Grant did today. And, we need him all. So for him to, we need Nick in there. He makes the offense go. He knows how to get our guards open. He knows how to play pick and roll. He's smart with screening angles, when to set, when to slip out, so he makes our offense go. But at the end of games, sometimes it's hard to keep him in because teams may foul him. But if he's shooting free throws, we had him in a lot at the end there. We tried to do some defensive substitutions when we knew they were going to foul us. But he's going to keep working. We need him. At this time, you're not going to practice for 2 hours and go hard. It'd be stupid as a coach. But these guys can get in the gym and shoot free throws with some extra time they have because we practice a little shorter, and he's been using his time pretty wisely, I think.
2 more, Drew.
Coach, I wanted to ask, I know he had to go out with like 16 minutes to go, Grant had 4, but talk about his ability to play with 4 fouls, and then he did a lot of his offensive damage and had 13 boards. When he came back in, was able to navigate through the overtime and make a lot of big plays.
Yeah, we need him to quit getting foul trouble. Some of these fouls he gets are, questionable calls, but some of them are, he just got to be smarter. Don't put yourself in a spot where they can call it. He's got to quit doing that. I don't know how many rebounding fouls he's gotten over the last few games where he's in foul trouble all the time. You can't quit grabbing people on rebounds. Box out, go get the ball. We don't need you to, you're athletic enough to hit the guy and check out and then go get the ball. So we need him to be smarter, but he played pretty aggressive with 4 fouls. You can't go back in and not be aggressive. We probably should have been doubling the posts once he got the 4th foul and it went in. We made the adjustment the next time out. We called, and I don't know if they actually went back in on him, but yeah, 14 and 13 is a big night, and we needed every last one of those points and rebounds. You kind of look at plus minus with guys in a much shorter time than all 4 other starters. He led us in plus min, and Sears tied at +9. So those 31 minutes he played, we were +9. It is pretty big. So we need him to stay in the game.
Last one, so.
You talked on Friday, and you don't typically see seniors stay 4 years in the program now in college basketball, but just how rewarding was it today to send these guys out with a win for you personally?
Yeah, we started all 5 seniors, and you kind of go down the list. The lowest minutes we played anybody was Grant at almost 31 minutes. So, the only disappointment I had was we didn't get up enough of a lead. I don't think we had a lead till overtime, but we never were able to get Max Sharnowski in because Max has been such a great kid. Max has been here longer than any of these seniors. I wish we'd have been able to get him in. We went starting of seniors. If we'd only had 4 scholarship guys, I probably would have started Max as a 5th starter, but we had the 5 scholarship guys. We needed a win to assure a double bye to Friday, but I wish we'd have been able to get Max in because he's as much as Tyler Barnes and BJ and somebody, Adam Cottrell, some of these walk-ons that have been here a long time and contributed to our culture that we built here. Max is just that good, and he's there for the guys. He's great on the scout team. He's a great leader. So I wish we'd been able to get Max in. He's been great. He understands. He's great. These other 5 guys, Aaron's the only one out of eligibility after this year. I'd love to have all 4 of those guys back if that's what they choose to do. They're they've won a lot of games here. We've won, we're 2-3 possessions away from winning the league title against Tennessee, and, you know, hopefully we go win ourselves a tournament title up in Nashville. We've done a lot of good things with these groups, so I'd love to get them back, but they all gotta make personal decisions based on what they think's best for themselves, whether, you know, I think all 4 of them will graduate, whether it's in the spring or the summer, and they're gonna have to decide what's best for themselves.
Thanks.
Right, and last thing I'll say, because I thank you all for being here too, the student section wasn't quite what it's been. I know spring break's going on, my daughter goes to school here. I'd like to say thanks to the students that came, because it was huge, and they've been unbelievably great the entire SEC conference play. The ones that stuck around to cheer us on, assuming those will be the same ones that show up in Nashville, because it's spring break. So anybody that wants to come back early from spring break and give us a big cheering section in Nashville would be great. Thank you to the ones that were here, and for everybody else that's not a student, thought this place got loud when we needed it to, when we needed stops late. That was big. So just thank you to the fans, thank you to the students for an incredible year at Coleman. You know, we love the Crimson Chaos. They were great for us all year. So thank you to you guys too.